Nobody really wants to come work for you when you're just starting off. They don't know what type of job stability they're gonna have with you. They don't know how long the company is gonna be there. Play the role, make it look good if that's what you have to do. If you don't have several people on your team, make sure if you don't have an office or something like that, that you decide to have somewhere professional to do these interviews. When I had my party bus company and I didn't have an office for that, I did my interviews at Starbucks. I would always put out a lie as well. Oh, I've got a busy day today. I had carved out a little bit of time. I was up here meeting with the operations manager for Starbucks, and so that's why we're doing an interview here. When you're setting up the interview with that person, the interview starts from the moment that you talk to them. There's a lot that you can tell by the tone of someone's voice. It's a lot that you can tell in those couple of moments that you're setting that interview up. How quickly did they set the interview up? Did you have to give them 3 or 4 different times and dates? Or did they take the first 1 or 2? What did their tone sound like on the phone? Were they nice and friendly? Or, you know, were they really rushed? Were they rude? Etc. One time I had a guy, when I was setting up my own interviews, I had called him to set up an interview, and this is my whole thing, because I'm talking to a lot of people right now. So I'm talking to some people who are business owners, some people who want to be business owners, and then I'm talking to some people that are on the other coin, that are employees, love being employees, and they're in this interview phase. I'm talking to people who will be interviewing and people who are the interviewees. Had this one situation one time where I was calling to set up an interview with somebody, and he didn't answer the phone. I left him a voicemail. Now, I always leave voicemails, and I tell my staff when you're setting up an interview, leave voicemails. If they don't call you back, you don't call them back. If you're applying for a managerial position and you don't check your email frequently, you're not the one for me. We're not gonna be able to get in touch with you. Something gonna be on fire at Escobar, and we won't even be able to get in touch with our GM. We ain't got time for that. Called this guy, set up his interview. He didn't answer the phone. I left him a voicemail. 2 minutes later, my phone rings back from the same number. I answer the phone. Hello? Yeah. You called me? I said, excuse me? Yeah, you called my phone. I said, yeah, I did, and I'm sorry that I did so. Have a great day, sir. I hung up the phone. He calls back. Oh, I'm sorry. I just listened to my voicemail. Yeah, bro, you listened to that voicemail a little bit too little, too late. I said, yeah, I said, man, you know, just kind of take that as a learning lesson. Of course, you know, I can't extend, you know, the invitation for you to come in and have a face-to-face interview with me with how you acted on the phone. I said, you know, just keep in mind, when you're in the market looking for a job, you don't know who's gonna call your phone that has seen your resume or received your resume to give you an offer of employment or to try to, you know, set up an interview with you. Just keep that in mind. And, you know, he thanked me, and, you know, that was that. But like I said, the interview starts the moment you make contact with the person. Once you get the interview set up. And so for me, for managerial positions, I like to do about 3 to 4 contacts, which means, so at this point in my career, they're gonna have, somebody's gonna call and set up an interview. So they've got to get past that phase. And there may even be some type of phone interview type situation. When it was just me, I would do phone interviews. So that was my first thing, to weed them out, because you're trying to weed people out. You know, you want to get to the point that it costs way too much to train people. You want to get to the point that by the time you get to the final interview and you're trying to make an offer for somebody, you've been able to see them in many different types of capacities. The second step is going to be a face-to-face interview with someone in the company. Now, at this point, with how it's done in my company, that's generally with my director of operations, okay? I've trained him on interviews, what to look for, what to ask, etc. Now, at that first face-to-face interview, number 1, we're looking for somebody that can show up on time. If you're applying for a management position, and let's say the interview is at 11 and you come at 10:57, strike one with me. I'm not giving you the second interview. Because if you're a manager over a busy multi-million-dollar restaurant, you shouldn't be coming in just a few minutes before you're supposed to be there. You need to be there early so that you can be organized, so that you can see, okay, what do we need for the day? Do I need to make a store run? I need to go do a bank deposit, etc. You know what I mean? So that really makes my eyebrow rise when somebody is only 2 or 3 minutes before the time they're supposed to be there. Now, anybody that's late or that does not bring a resume, I don't interview them at all. No exceptions. You're a manager applying for a management salary position and you did not even know to bring a resume. You're meeting with the director of operations or you're meeting with the owner of a company and you're not prepared. The third thing that I'm gonna look at is their attire, okay? Now I can sit up here in a t-shirt and some basketball shorts. I'm already where I want to be in life. I try not to do that, but if it's a day that I'm leaving a gym or something like that, that may happen. But guess what? When I open up my mouth, you're gonna know I mean business. Now, you sit on the other side of the table, you're trying to get a job. I don't care if you're trying to get a server position. I don't care if you're trying to get a bartender position. You should always present yourself professionally. That is going to carry you so much further. I definitely make sure that I take a look at their attire. Then as we get into the interview, so the first thing that I like to do is just kind of find out some information about them. I try to make it as relaxed as possible. You do have some people that are just going to be very tense and nervous and different things of that nature, but I personally try to make it very, very relaxed. And the first thing that I want to do is hear about them. Where did you go to school at? Where are you from? Are you married? Do you have any kids? And all of that stuff, even though it's small, it's very important. Because if you got a restaurant that's downtown, this person lives all the way in Ackworth, Georgia, and they've got 3 kids they raising on their own, how often do you think they're gonna make it to work on time? Number one. Number two, how truly committed can they be when they have all of this personal stuff going on? So that's the first thing that I wanna hear about. Now, once you're hired on, that's the last thing I wanna hear about. We're gonna get all this business done, then we talk personal. But before you're hired, and I'm trying to get to know you, the first thing that I'm trying to do is hear about that information. I sometimes even ask them, you know, do you have a car? Oh yeah, I got a car. Okay, yeah, where is it? Can you point it out? Where'd you park it? You know, because people lie. And some of these positions, you cannot do them well without a vehicle. Your paycheck will be ate up in Uber fees, and they'll be trying to come to me and blame it on me. And it's like, nah, baby, you need a car to do this position. You want to kind of find out about all of those different things. Then after the personal, I get into the experience. Now, I'm not going to even let somebody come in and interview with me that does not have at least 2 to 3 years experience in the same position that they're applying for, okay? The only people that I generally let move up without the experience in that exact position is somebody that's already working in the company. So I've allowed bartenders to move up into bar managers and we train them in-house. But if it's somebody from the outside, and that means that I need a quick feel, then they need to already have that experience. So then I'll ask them about their experience, and just because it says that they did it on their resume, it doesn't mean that they really did. So then I ask them some questions to make sure that they really know what they're talking about. Okay, you're a bar manager. How do you calculate alcohol costs? What was the alcohol cost at your last job? 2 cognacs sold the most. Some of them will give you a bourbon. You gotta ask some of these questions, you know, to quiz them. What are your strengths and weaknesses? You know, there are a list of the general questions that you can ask, but as you get more into your field and your industry, you're gonna know exactly what you need to ask, because you're gonna know what makes a good bar manager to you, what makes a good general manager. And what makes those people good is how they handle different situations. You're gonna wanna ask them about some different situations and how they would handle it and things of that nature. And also at the same time, I'm reading the person. You know, people say it's bad to be judgmental and all that. Everybody is judgmental in life, trust me, child. Everybody is being judged on a day-to-day basis. And so I'm judging this person at this time. I'm judging whether or not you're telling me the truth, whether or not you're gonna come to work on time, whether or not I can trust you, whether or not your teeth are clean, you care about yourself, you got proper hygiene, do you stink, etc. All of these little different things. Now, if I feel like that this person, or if the director of operations feels like this person is somebody that should work for us, then that person is going to be moved on to another phase. And that phase is what we call a stage. What they're going to do is they're going to go to one of our locations, generally one of our busiest locations, and they're going to stage with our current general manager. And during that process, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna be judged again. They think they just come in to look around and just to see how things is going. Well, their job after that stage is to send us a written report saying, hey, okay, I worked with Lawrence such and such down at downtown Escobar. this is what I found. If I was the general manager, this is what I would improve. This is what I saw that was good. This is what I saw that was bad. Don't just point out the bad. Don't just point out the good. No spot is perfect. And guess what? The person they work with is going to send me a report on them as well. And they're going to say, such and such came in, they was 10 minutes early, or they was 10 minutes late. I didn't let them stay because I know you don't like late people. Or, hey, this person came in, they were 10 minutes early. They seem very, very experienced. They seem like somebody that would do well in our company, and this is why. And so then after we get all of that, if they've passed all of those phases, then they sit down and they meet with me. My interviews only normally take about 5 to 10 minutes because guess what? I've been doing this so long and I've trained everybody on to do it. I know within 5 minutes whether or not I'm gonna hire somebody. And it's just the skill of reading people. It's the skill that you learn after a while in doing this, because you learn to read people. You learn how to tell if they're telling you the truth. I can tell when somebody is about to quit. A lot of little different things, especially if I work closely with them. Now it's a little bit harder for me now because I don't work as closely with a lot of people, but when I did and I was working with these people on a day-to-day basis, hell yeah, I knew. Those are the things that you want to look for. Make sure you got your paperwork in a row when you do bring somebody on. You make them an offer, give them an offer letter, etc. If you're on the other end of it and you're interviewing, one of the things that you can really do to impress your future employer is to send them a thank you letter after an interview. Send them a thank you letter or a thank you card. So many people neglect to do that, and that really, really makes a difference. You know, you want to set yourself apart. You want to have confidence, always be on time, dress the part, look the part, and just put your best foot forward. I hope all that stuff was helpful. I hope y'all continue to follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at WhoIsSnoop. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, and make sure you head on over to my course website, because if you enjoyed this YouTube episode, I know you enjoy some of my courses at courses.whoissnoop.com.